every congressperson on the southern border opposes the wall, including this one. Well, I have no idea if that is true or not, but sure, fine. Over half the country doesn't support funding the wall, so I believe it.
I am a proud third-generation fronteriza, a woman of the border.
Fronteriza, a woman of the border. A person who lives on a national border. So, not of the border, just living next to it. Got it.
The largest portion of the U.S.-Mexico border is in my home state, Texas. Every single U.S. representative who represents a border community is against the wall.
Yeah, we were already told that, and I stipulated to it. But, so what?
So over a decade ago, El Pasoans saw a wall erected on our southern side of our community.
The southern side of your community? You mean on the border with an entirely different country, don't you? Where El Paso ends and a foreign country begins? I mean, you are a woman of the border, aren't you?
Governments like El Paso County and the city of El Paso actually sued the federal government back then, trying to fight the building of this wall. Unfortunately, we lost.
Unfortunately, you lost. But
it feels like this awful decision and discussion keeps getting resurrected over and over and over again. People are really tired of being portrayed in a way that is just not factually accurate.
Okay. Losing the argument over not having a wall built on the southern border portrays people in a way that is not factually accurate. I'm confused. What people are we talking about? How are they being inaccurately portrayed? And what do either of those things have to do with a border wall?
Here's what Donald Trump does not get right about us.
Us. Us who?
We are not just an incredibly safe community, and in fact, El Paso, Texas, we were safe long before a wall was ever constructed in my community.
Great! So, a wall should only make your community even safer than it was before, correct?
Not only are we a safe community, but we are an important economic asset to the United States.
All the more reason to protect it, then. With a wall. Am I missing something?
$90 billion worth of trade comes through our ports of entry every single year. People and commerce flow back and forth across our ports of entry.
Our ports of entry. So, through those secured locations for legal travel and commerce, not the areas shored up by a border wall. Got it.
We have a gorgeous, revitalized, historic downtown that celebrates our past while it looks towards our future.
And a wall to the south of you is harming any of that? How, again?
Border communities like mine have been so poorly described and maligned by people like President Trump.
Okay. How so?
We recently saw and heard about the deaths of two children, 7-year-old Jacqueline, 8-year-old Felipe, both of whom came through El Paso and died in U.S. custody.
Okay, but, I don't recall El Paso being held responsible for either of those situations, but rather the Border Patrol Agency and its associated officers. Even though I think holding them responsible for those children's deaths is dubious at best, what does any of that have to do with the community of El Paso?
One of the things that I've shown my colleagues, those colleagues who've come to the border, I've shown them the area where Felipe was apprehended, Felipe and his father. That area already has a wall, and it proved, I believe, that walls don't work.
So, because that man and his minor child were able to get past the wall, walls don't work. So, we should just get rid of walls? Well, great! So, when are you going to propose legislation to do away with walls for every public and private institution, Representative Escobar? When are you going to lead the way and begin living and working outside in the open air? I mean, imagine all of the money that could be saved if we just did away with walls. I look forward to hearing more from you on this innovative architectural and security philosophy in the coming weeks and months.
Walls don't solve the problems that this country should be talking about and tackling. And those problems are drugs. How do we stop the flow of drugs?
Walls do not stifle the flow of illegal drugs. Got it.
And the answer lies in where they're flowing through. They are coming through our ports of entry.
Oh, so we need to close our ports of entry. Got it. Aha! I wonder if Representative Escobar thinks the flow of illegal drugs across our border would increase or decrease were we to just do away with border walls. I would be very, very curious to know her answer to that question.
So why not give our Customs Border Protection agents the best technology, the best resources so that they can do their jobs?
Would one of those resources be helping to ensure that the movement of goods and people are better bottlenecked at our ports of entry for inspection and investigation by way of securing the other parts of our border with walls and barriers and other obstacles to deter illegal activity? Maybe.
One of our challenges is that there are thousands of families fleeing violence and poverty in Central America, and they're seeking refuge and asylum in America. So what's the best way to address and deal with that challenge? Is it cruelty? Absolutely not.
A border wall is not cruelty. We have legal ports of entry at which anyone can legally petition for asylum. And again, how exactly does any of this equate to a disparaging opinion of the community of El Paso? I still haven't heard any of these falsehoods you say have been plaguing your town and county.
And my hope is that as many colleagues as possible in Congress come see the border and understand the border before casting judgment on the border.
What judgment? I've heard that there's a humanitarian crisis at the border, with families being separated and the like. I've also been told that saying there's an emergency at the border is a manufactured crisis. But in none of it have I heard that El Paso and its people are horrible. So, what are you talking about?
We need you. We need you engaged. We need you holding us accountable so that we are having the conversations and debates that make your life and our world better.
Holding who accountable? Our representatives? Well, okay. Tell me, Representative Escobar, how doing away with walls at our border will inherently improve the lives of our citizens and stem the tide of illegal drugs and human trafficking. And then, Representative Escobar, tell us what your alternative proposal is. And please, could you tell me exactly how El Paso is being falsely portrayed by people like Donald Trump? Because despite how this video started and what it promised, you've never specified. As for people coming from afar to our border, again, we have a process in place for them to legally seek asylum in this country. Now, do I think that our immigration system, the procedures and bureaucracy involved in both processing legal immigrants or asylum seekers and prosecuting overstayers and trespassers, do I think that all of that needs an overhaul? Most assuredly. Is a wall along our border a panacea for our immigration problems? By no means do I think it is. It is a deterrent. It helps to deter people from coming across our border illegally. It also, I can only hope, disincentivizes people from risking theirs and especially their children's lives in attempting to cross dangerous territory and under the care of dangerous people in order to try to make it to the tenuous promises of sanctuary cities and the cruelty of exploitive employers. But if Representative Escobar's biggest concern is how the rest of us view El Paso, maybe she should take up a career at the Texas Tourism Department and make way for someone whose priority isn't just about saving face. As always, thank you for watching.